All right, Jodan Sancho, huge exit hint from Man United has been dropped, and hope you guys are really eager to get to know what exactly this is all about. And I'm sorry for having uploaded the first video, it never had really an audio. Guys, that is caused by when my machine calls in for updates and I forgot obviously to reinstall the microphone, and I knew it was all set. So guys, I'm sorry, but we are back to obviously let you know about what this information is all about. Fabrizio Romano in the mix, Jacobs Ben in the mix, and very many other stories that are around or surrounding this scenario of Jodan Sancho to a club that is interested in him. At the start of this month, we had like 3 clubs interested in the player, and there are still those 3 clubs, and it looks like there is a club that is going to hit to convince Jodan Sancho and his agent, and they are pushing to see it that at the start of the summer transfer window, Jodan Sancho exits Manchester United and goes out to play his football elsewhere. We thank God for the gift of life, and all those watching in through, you are obviously great. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. It's a Thursday, 16th of November, and here we go to where we are supposed to be doing our stuff at. And no further say about this, let's continue to obviously hit the ground running as we always do here. And don't forget to subscribe, because if you're gonna hit you know the number of subscribers, 16,000 subscribers, and you're still counting more and more, and we thank God for the gift of life. And guys, all this is happening because of you. This is happening because of you, and you guys are really great, and I'll never forsake you or really let you down. Let's start it off with Jacobs Ben. While he appeared onto the biggest fan channel in the world that is all about United stand, he said the following: with Neymar injured, Al Hilal is a team to keep an eye on in relation to Jodan Sancho. There will also be concrete interest from German clubs. Jodan Sancho to Saudi Arabia is a possibility. The interest is there, but it depends on if the player wants the move. Now, Jodan Sancho doesn't want to join the side of Al Hilal. We all knew that the summer transfer window of Europe closed around 1st September. That of Saudi Arabia ran until the 7th of September. So that's why it was expected maybe Jodan Sancho would go there. And one will say, but Rokani, had the saga of Jodan Sancho and Eric Ten Hag took place, let me school you, on the 3rd of September, United played Arsenal. That was the last game that we played before we went to the international break. Jodan Sancho went ahead on the 3rd of September. No sooner had Eric Ten Hag been asked about why he was not part of the squad, Ten Hag said he never trained well. Jodan Sancho went ahead to obviously put up the X post, and it was disrespecting the manager, and he was obviously showcasing his pain and not being okay with what Ten Hag said about him, right? He talked about lots of things happening at the club of Man United, and they're trying to use him as an escape route or a scapegoat into this mix for what has been happening at Man United. So after that, Al Hilal was pushing to sign Jodan Sancho. Sancho said, no, I'm going nowhere. I just want to go to a better club, not yours. So Jodan Sancho has always said no to Al Hilal, and I think even right now there is no reason that is going to push him to go to that side, though interest is there, but all depends on to Jodan Sancho. And there have been rumors that Juventus is a team interested into Jodan Sancho. They are no longer rumors. It's now confirmed by the #1 transfer guru, that is Fabrizio Romano. He has confirmed us that Juventus has asked for information on Jodan Sancho in recent days. He's set to leave Man United in January, but Juventus are only interested in a loan deal plus part of his salary being covered by Man United. So Juventus have asked information for Jodan Sancho's availability, and I think if you're Juventus, this is one of the hugest chances you'll ever use to get in a player who can come in through and obviously win you what we call the league. I have gone ahead and obviously done my research about how the table of the Serie A is really looking. It is looking good for Juventus, because Juventus is I think I should obviously bring it onto your screen and obviously watch it, because I'm a person who always goes ahead to show up the stats onto your table, and I think let me flash it there because we're here to really serve you right, not so. So let's go to the table of the Serie A to show you that this man can obviously win them the league according to what he has. Because for me, I believe in Jodan Sancho is a very good player, but if he's behaving like that and doesn't want to put an apology to get back to the team, then that's naive of him. And we cannot obviously support players whose egos have gone ahead to obviously damage this club of Man United for a very long time, and player power is one of those, and we need to obviously trim wings of such players. Now, when you look at the table of the Serie A, Inter Milan has 31 points and Juventus has 29. Look at AC Milan, 6 points of Juventus, meaning that the battle is in between Juventus and Inter Milan. And if you add Jodan Sancho into this squad of Juventus, trust me, he'll obviously go ahead and obviously get you the best that you deserve. But my worry for him has always been, is he a player who can suit into the system that Allegri plays at Juventus? Because Juventus have gone ahead to obviously play this system, as you see it on the screen. They play a 3-5-2 system. This is the back three, and you ask yourself, in which positions is he going to come in through and really lead the line? Is he going to obviously bench Keane or Federico Chiesa? Federico Chiesa, he cannot, he's untouchable in the team. He's really great and does lots of efforts. Is he going to obviously add him in the midfield to play alongside Locatelli and McKennie? That's a story that we'll wait and see whether it will happen. Is he going to switch the system to fit Jodan Sancho? I don't know. But the moment the team like Juventus shows interest in the player and they ask information about him, that means they've gone ahead to Google and obviously done some thorough research, and this player might be the missing jigsaw into their side. And what Sancho takes to Juventus is goals, creativity. That is it, and they need it. Sancho has thrived in the Bundesliga, has had some good flashes into the Premier League at Man United, and all he needs is a team like Juventus where a team can obviously be molded around him, and I think Allegri can do that. And if at all Jodan Sancho goes ahead at Juventus and really gets a very good season, I think that can put him in a situation that Juventus will be willing to spend 60 million euros or pounds to really bring him at Juventus. Why? Juventus will be playing into the Champions League. That is it. And playing in the Champions League will mean that they can sign a world-class player at the Jodan Sancho level. The other factor as to why Juventus have gone ahead to obviously be the priorities, obviously take this man, is him having what we call a resale value. Jodan Sancho is just 23 years of age. He goes to Juventus, he gets some good 2 seasons in the Serie A and in the Champions League. Trust me, teams will come in through and they'll be willing to cough 100 million pounds for this player. His mentality has been really ridiculed a lot, but I think if he gets a better manager that understands him, then he can become one of those players that can even lead Juventus back to the triumph of the league, that is the Scudetto, and even thrive in the Champions League, where Juventus are obviously made for. The dream of them signing Cristiano Ronaldo was to win the Champions League, but they never won it under him. And maybe Jodan Sancho might be one of those that can come in through and obviously get them to where they deserve to be, because he has the qualities of a player that can lead this side. And I have another story concerning this story that has gone ahead to emerge, coming in from a very credible journalist known as Daniel Longo, who works for Clesio Mercato and is based in Milan, meaning that he's getting the best news from Italy and he knows exactly what this is all about. And he has told us that in recent days, Jodan Sancho's agent has proposed the possibility of Sancho joining Juventus on loan, and Cristiano Gintoli likes the player. The problem is that Man United will need Juventus to pay 70% of Sancho's wages whilst he's there. So, the sporting director of Juventus is interested in Jodan Sancho. Allegri has gone ahead to approve that move. The agent of Sancho is also interested in that. But the hinge is one. Can Juventus pay 70% of the salary that Jodan Sancho earns at Man United? You remember that Jodan Sancho earns close to £350,000 a week. If you are to convert £350,000 a week and get it to 70%, that is close to £260,000 a week that Juventus are really willing to pay off. And it might be a red flag for this transfer to happen, as Juventus has not been getting some good amount of money and having violated the financial fair play rules that are going to hate to lose, to make them lose out their spot of the Champions League, because they deducted 22 points from them, you know, and they were fined, I think, 500 million euros for 500,000 euros for violating the financial fair play rule. They might not be in the best position to obviously sign Jodan Sancho on loan, so they need to work out the best to see either Jodan Sancho goes ahead and goes that side. And I think if at all you're Man United, you'd like to see this guy go to. You'd like to see him go to Juventus. Why? United can easily get back the £73 million they signed him for if he thrives at Juventus, because Juventus is one of those teams that really create what we call a spotlight for Jodan Sancho. Even if Juventus doesn't sign him and they give him playing time, Jodan Sancho can obviously get you some 15 goals at Juventus and some 15 assists. He can in the remaining half of the season, because in the Serie A is really easy for Jodan Sancho to operate. It's not as fast as the Premier League. It matches his skill set and space and intensity, so he can easily hit the ground running. So, if you're Man United, if he plays very well and Juventus cannot sign him, all what you have to is to put him on the market, and very many teams will be really ready to sign the player, you know. And the beauty of really getting him to Juventus, that means United will be saving close to £12 million. Remember, a loan fee has to be put out of close to £6 million. Then close to £6 million in salaries of Jodan Sancho will be saved, meaning that in those 6 months, United won't be able to obviously cash in that amount of money. And it will be great for United to get £12 million from Jodan Sancho before they even sell him in the summer transfer window, meaning that if they get a team that can get them like £60 million in the summer transfer window, provided Jodan Sancho puts in a very huge performance down in Turin at Juventus, they would have gone ahead to get back the money they spent to sign him from Borussia Dortmund. That is it. So I think even for Jodan Sancho, it acts well for him because the two-way traffic. As United benefits and gets the money, they obviously sign him from Borussia Dortmund. Jodan Sancho also gets a chance to play in the Euros, because he has been one of those players that Gareth Southgate has always loved, but he is not up to the standards, and his performances have gone ahead to drop hugely at the club of Man United. If they happen to obviously get him to the Euros when he was performing well at Borussia Dortmund, do you think he won't be considered if at all he's playing at one of the biggest teams in the world, that is Juventus, and playing very well? I think it acts well for Jodan Sancho. So the huge Jodan Sancho United exit is all about him and his agent wanting to go to Juventus, but the hindrance is 70% salary that Juventus are sanctioned to pay and a loan fee. So your thoughts on to Jodan Sancho exit? Where do you think he should go? Back to Borussia Dortmund, Al Hilal, or to Juventus? And what best benefits the two parties? Rokan David remains my name. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. See you in the next 2-3 hours from now.